is we're going to get to know Clinton Yates through numbers. We're going to do numbers 1 through 10. I have 10 questions for you, and you're going to decide the order in which these things come to you. I know a lot of people are intrigued by what is Clinton and Friends, what's going to be coming to their airwaves 10 to 12. All right. So let's tap in right here. What's a number between 1 and 10 you want to start with?
We'll start with 1. Let's make this simple.
That tells you a lot about the guy Clinton Yates. He's straight shooter.
Take things in order. Yes.
Well, who's your dream guest to have on Clinton and Friends, which again is going to be coming to y'all the day after the Super Bowl, 10 to noon right here on ESPN 106.3?
I think this one's pretty easy. I was born and raised in the capital of the United States of America. There's only one man that put a basketball hoop up at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Oh. The number that he goes by is 44, and his kids went to my sister's high school. If that guy ever showed up in the studio, I would love to talk hoops with him and how much it affected his life in terms of how he went on for the rest of his career. Yeah, Barack Hussein Obama, 44, is the guy that would be the number 1 guest for me.
And when y'all do that, you also got to set up a segment where y'all get a little one-on-one in. Like, do you still hoop a little bit?
I don't play against old men. You know why? Because I'm an old man, and I'm not trying to get hurt.
Come on, man. Y'all can keep the joggers on. You keep the joggers on, that stops you from trying to do too much.
That's fair. I would play a game of horse. That's what I would do.
Okay, got you. I love that. All right, that was 1. So you got 2 through 10. What's the next one you want to play on this numbers game with Clinton Yates?
We'll say 7 since we're mixing it up.
7. Okay, let me scroll down. Oh. What's a food you refuse to eat no matter what?
Oh, this is a lock. Listen, but as far as what people understand about American history and the Great Migration, my people came from North Carolina. There are still things that we eat at these cookouts and at these family reunions that I don't touch. It's spelled one way, it's said another. Ain't no chitlins passing through these teeth. That is not going to happen at this stage of my life. I was watching Boomerang the other day talking about chitterlings. You got to clean them, blah, blah, blah. No. It's not happening. They stink. I respect what they mean to the culture. I ain't eating them. They ain't for me.
We don't have to do it no more. My question is, have you ever eaten them? Because I have refused since I was a kid and never did. Did they ever pass through the teeth of Clinton Yates?
Yes, that's how I know. I'm not a non-creative or non-adventurous person, but I'm also, you try it once and don't like it. And I tried it once as a kid and as an adult. I thought maybe it was one of those things where, my taste has evolved. Maybe I can sort of have a little bit more respect. Maybe they weren't cooked right. No, they're nasty to me. I'm sorry. Don't serve me no chitlins when I show up at your function.
Yeah, I think that should be that's a cause for leaving. That's a cause for me making a U-turn if people are still serving that at functions.
Red card.
Getting to know Clinton Yates here. You eliminated 1. You eliminated 7. A number between 1 and 10.
10.
10. I like it. Going right to the end here. Oh, I love this one. This one comes up to me all the time when an athlete retires and I realize I didn't get a chance to watch him live. What's one athlete you regret that you were never in the house to see?
Ooh.
In person.
That's a tough one. I think I'm going to stick with baseball here just because, well, frankly, there's 2 guys, and I'm going to stick with the one from this year, though. That would be Willie Mays. I was at Rickwood Field when Major League Baseball did their tribute to him. If you guys remember, over the summer in Birmingham, there was a minor league game and a major league game that was played in honor of Willie Mays. He passed the day of the minor league game, which was 2 days before the major league game, and we were all down there honoring his legacy, and it was just one of those things that, honestly, Theo, it changed who I was, not just as a baseball writer, not just as a sports fan, not just, frankly, as an American, but as a human being, to see the hometown that he came from, all of the things that he had touched in terms of what people took as motivation from Willie Howard Mays Jr. I can't imagine what it would have been like to see that guy play at a time when the game was just so different and he was that much better than everybody else. I mean, there are other names I could state that might be as fun, but there's nobody that comes to mind first other than number 24 who played for the Giants in both New York and San Francisco.
Yeah, man. I had a conversation with Mr. October himself, Reggie Jackson. After what he said that resonated with the rest of America, he had this tournament out here recently, and I was asking about one thing or the other, and it got right on the topic of Willie Mays and what he talked about there. It was obviously before my generation, but I can tell by anybody that was touched by baseball or interested how much he meant to just the world, man.
Yeah, Reggie came correct that night. I saw him at the hotel the night before that appearance, and I wrote this in a column. He looked a little dazed, and I figured it was just travel weirdness. He's up there a little bit, you know what I'm saying? So making cross-country travel is no big deal. But then when he said what he said on Fox, live on TV, when Alex Rodriguez asked him that question, I realized that what I was seeing was a man that was returning to a place that kind of made him hate himself in many ways and reminded him who he was and all that he had to deal with as a younger dude, and his vibes were not right. Because, hello, Alabama is still Alabama, even if you didn't play in the Negro Leagues.
Right. And it's something about being back in a place like that can remind you of that. We're playing a numbers game with Clinton Yates, getting to know the man that's going to have Clinton and Friends from 10 a.m. to noon here on ESPN 106.3. What number are you going with next?
Let's say 3, Allen Iverson's number.
Ooh, the AI number. Okay, big shouts. I'm a Hampton University alum, so 7'5".
Okay. All right, Bubba Chuck, what up?
You know what I'm saying? What's the most overrated TV series that people can't stop talking about?
Oh, man. I know this is kind of a cheap shot, but I'm going to say Game of Thrones, but that's only because I didn't really watch it as much as other people did. I got in late and tried to do that scramble back where you kind of cram in everything so that you could be there for the last episode. But the way that the final season ended with people who even liked it talking about how bad it fell off, I thought, oh, y'all did all this work for nothing? That must be so unsatisfying. Like, I watched, the first season or so. I'm like, all right, I get it. A lot of wacky stuff going on. Folks getting their heads cut off, getting thrown out of buildings, dragons this, dragons that. I understood the appeal. Before it to end with a thud the way it did, I said, oh, man, that really kills the momentum in terms of the legacy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know how people on Twitter all the time talking about legacy Twitter and how it's going to affect this or affect that, if some guy doesn't get a first down or if he doesn't score a touchdown or win X or Y trophy. Game of Thrones crashed out, dog. Not great, man.
So did you even finish it?
No,
finish it?
Of course
it's
not.
Worth finishing
I might have watched 2 seasons.
Yeah. That's a good call by you.
I got sports to watch, dog.
Exactly. Getting to know Clinton Yates here on ESPN 106.3, theoretically speaking. Pick another number between 1 and 10 here.
5 Alive, one of my favorite fruit juices when I was a kid.
I think this is the 5th question as well, so you're right on time here. Of the 4 major American sports league, which one is the easiest to enter? And I'm talking about
enter?
Yeah, in baseball, the majors, not just the minor leagues, but the majors, and then there's the NBA, NFL, and NHL.
I think we're just going to have to do this from a simple number standpoint, and let's think about it this way. In the NHL, you're dealing with a global marketplace. People are coming from Europe, people are coming from Canada, people are coming from the U.S., so the numbers to get there are harder than most. In Major League Baseball, the task is probably the most difficult in terms of getting all the way to the top through the ranks of professional baseball.
A lot of dudes with beer bellies in there.
NBA, the literal numbers are so small that it is simply a matter of supply and demand. It's difficult to do. Shouts to the reasons why guys like Jimmy Butler can act the way they act, because there's only so many people that can do it at that level. So I'll have to say football. There's the most people on the rosters. It's the biggest turnover from year to year. Just on a math standpoint, you've got a better shot of making it to the NFL than you do any of these other leagues, because if you combine the workforce that you're competing with, the ability to do the job, the number of positions you can do to make the league.
Yeah.
It's got to be the NFL, even though it's tough, even though it's one of the hardest things to do. Don't get me wrong, but I'm a thinker. I got a brain, player. That's why I answered that way.
I went Major League Baseball, and I know you wouldn't like that as a baseball truther, but I can see where you come to that, because you can become a long
Let's
snapper.
see you get in the box and try to bang somebody's 92-mile-an-hour slider. Let's see how that goes for you.
Look, Clinton. And I always get ridiculed for this take. I'm not saying I could do it. I'm just saying, I've seen other people get drafted.
That's fair. The only one thing I will say about that is that baseball also has the highest social barriers to advancement in terms of meritocracy, which is something I spend a career writing about, which is another element here. If we're not just talking about physical skills and we're actually talking about how you get to do it, dog, baseball is tougher than it should be, and that's kind of a big problem that Major League Baseball is dealing with now.
See, Cal, he said a meritocracy.
Too many big words at me. Okay, now because I don't understand them, I'm gonna take them as disrespect. Watch him.
Look here, Clinton. All right, I know you got all these secondary level degrees, but here at Theoretically Speaking, a meritocracy. I gotta Google that when we get off the air.
Bro, I got Funko Pops on my wall. Ain't no secondary degrees.
Clinton Yates here. Clinton and Friends coming to y'all soon. We're playing a little bit, getting to know Clinton Yates, the numbers game. Pick a number between 1 and 10 again, Clinton.
Number 9.
Number 9. Okay. Oh, people are going to love this one, because this is where most people know your face from. What's your favorite moment from Around the Horn, which I know sadly is gone.
I have 2. It's not gone yet, player. Come on now. Don't be throwing dirt on the grave before we're actually in the ground. Stop that. Big shout out to Aaron Solomon, coordinating producer. Big shout out to Josh Barr, the producer. Big shout out to Tony Reale, the host. Big shout out to Eric Rideholm, the creator of that show. That aside, there are 2 moments, and I will start for the number standpoint with number 2. The second one is when my dad got to come on the show. He was visiting me, and he came out to the studio and got to see all the different things that I do. I happened to win FaceTime that day, and I got to talk about some sports in my hometown when that Bama Theodore Leonsis was trying to move the Capitals and the Wizards outside of the city to Alexandria, which was just a completely insane move. And I got to tell the story of how I grew up going to games with my dad, who happened to be sitting right there. Pulled him on camera, so he got his big camera time. But the number one is obvious. My son, Keanu Jedi Yates, was born in November, which is Prematurity Awareness Month. For those of you watching on the YouTube, I got a split lip because he kicked me in the face this morning while I was eating yogurt. But I want to give a big shout out to UCLA Medical Center. His mother is doing great in terms of health. They really helped us through all of that time, and he's a healthy young man. And being able to announce that on the air before I went on paternity leave for a show that I grew up watching, that was a big part of the reason why I became a sports writer, was really a blessing, man. Family's important to me.
That is huge. We learned something about you there. Love that both of them were family related, and you did still sneak in the fact that you won. Right?
I mean, I don't know how many victories I got, but it's over 100. Oh, while we're at it, I got to win the 100th on my birthday, whatever birthday that was.
See,
that was cool, too.
Here's the thing, though, Clinton. Hold on, let's stop the music for a quick second. We're going to stop this game. Because
shut it down.
This is something I've wanted to ask, and I was going to ask my guy Justin Tinsley this as well. I never got around to it. I'm going to ask you here live on radio airwaves. Are some of these wins on Around the Horn, people like to act like the Chiefs games are rigged, are some of these wins on Around the Horn staged a little bit for TV? Keep it G with us.
Let me tell you something. There's only one way to find out. You know how? Get on the show, killer. That's how you find out. Put the music back. Move it right along.
Oh, my gosh. He's not giving away the secrets.
That's going to be tough to come back from, Theo.
I know.
That's brutal.
I know. That was rough. Okay. I don't know if I have any time to get on the show. Y'all are canceling it before I got to rise up. All right. Here, we're going to end it with this one. I'm going to pick the number for you, number 8.
Okay.
Who is your favorite TikTok influencer?
Ooh, that's really tough. I like a lot of people on TikTok.
A lot of options out there.
Okay, this is going to sound really lame, but my friend, he's a columnist for the New York Times. He does not write about sports. He does not have really anything to do with the sports world. He's a really smart guy. He's a Star Wars fan, and we've been friends for a long time back when he lived in D.C. His name is Jamel Bowie. And what he does is he sort of breaks down, like, the historical context of American news moments as he understands them. And this is the best part, Jam, we call him in the group chat. Jam is the coolest dude in the world. Like, you would, unassuming dude, but the fits are fire. He is out here dressed like the flyest professor on earth, deeply analyzing these hardcore historical things. And I'm saying this because he's my friend, and I really like him a lot, so it's fun to watch him. But, like, when somebody is doing good things, like, it's always more fun to see. And that's kind of what the whole premise of the show is. I've been lucky enough throughout the course of my career to be able to meet and be around so many different people who have enriched my life, helped me become a better journalist, a better person, a better family member, a better dad. And that's kind of what the vibe is that we're bringing the show on Clinton and Friends.
Clinton and Friends. I absolutely love it. I'll say this, too. When I was trying to come up with a name for my show, theoretically speaking here, me and C-Cat, I was going to go early on with Teddy and Friends. So, did that get up to you?
I like theoretically speaking. That gets the job done. It also
better.
gives you the opportunity to get your name in it from the art standpoint. It's good stuff.
It works out. It definitely works out, Clinton. And also, that last question was a lob to you. You were supposed to say me. I thought you were going to throw. No, it's not.
Fun fact.
Yeah.
I don't need to tell lies to be good. Stop it now.
No, what's funny.
Appreciate you, man.
No, what's funny, though, Clinton, I was scrolling on TikTok, and I got to your name one time. I saw one of your things, and it said we were friends. I didn't realize we actually had followed each other on TikTok before.
I don't know that I knew that either, so that would qualify as news to me.
Exactly. So I was lobbing it up to you, and at least now I know my content is not resonating with anybody that is.
Stop it. Don't be like that. All right, come on now. Trying to end on a good note. Appreciate you, Theo.
Appreciate your time again. Clinton Yates, Clinton and Friends coming to y'all the Monday after the Super Bowl, 10 to 12. And you're filling big shoes there, filling the radio airwaves of Greeny. Good luck with it. We'll be tapped in, Doc.
Big shoes, big socks. Happy Thursday, kiddos.